You can't. It just gave me the opportunity to change orientation. I went back, I changed it, and it's made no difference. I don't know, guys. I'm going to wait for someone in chat to tell me, am I the right way around or am I the wrong way around? Anybody, help me. Give me a message. Am I the right way around? I've got this message on my screen saying orientation is locked, but unlike yesterday, it looks normal, except for the black overlay with the orientation is locked, rotate device back. I think I'm the right way around. Anybody, please, if you're there in chat, let me know which way around am I? Am I right or am I wrong? I'm hoping I'm the right way around, but that's going to mean that chat's going to be difficult because of the black overlay. We're spot on, you see? It's spot on, except not at my end. My end says it's wrong. I've literally got a fucking black overlay on the screen, the diagonal phone symbol with a rotation, and it's telling me to rotate back the other way. I've got no... It must just be me, yeah? It must just be me, because other people would be complaining otherwise. Sorry, pretty young ladies walking past. I am a dirty perv, what can you say? It's an age thing. It's an age thing. Well, and a male thing, I guess. I was probably always a dirty old perv, even when I was young. Anyway, folks, let me try and give you an idea of where we got to yesterday. Here's my notes. Here's the facts that we were going down, the facts about dogs. I got down to here before I started going through the main questions, and I only got down here with the questions. And then you guys asked questions during the program, and there's more to add at the end. Basically, I got nowhere. Interesting, eh? Notes upside down, don't say that. That's not upside down, surely. Upside down, back to front, inside out. Notes upside down, better not be. I'm going to assume that someone was pulling my plonker there and that wasn't really. Sheds. Yeah, there you are. Dirty old man, absolutely. Can't help it. I'm male and not young. The rest just becomes, the rest just comes natural. Tina girl, quiet, quiet. Okay, I guess she's the star attraction. So let's. Can you see her? You see, I can't because of this black overlay. Now I've got a very. I think you're looking that way, because yeah, there she is. I can just about make out his shadow. Hey Tina, say hello to the peoples. Yeah. Tina superstar. Okay, let's hope it. Oh, now I've got to try and work out whether it pointed back to me or not. I can't see that. I don't think it did. You guys looking at me? No, you're not looking at me, are you? Oh, don't do this, car. Tell me that you're looking at me. I see a shadow. I think it's on me, is it? Oh, now I've got no clue. Hold on. I see my face on screen and I'm trying to work out whether that's a reflection or whether that's a picture. That's the picture, because over here's the reflection. Fuck! YouTube! Get your shit together! Okay, folks. This is TrampCast Special. part 2. I didn't realise it was going to be September the 11th. I probably, if I thought about it in advance, I might have avoided that date out of respect. But we're here now. It is a continuation of yesterday. It's an accidental thing. It wasn't planned. No disrespect meant to anybody. But as I said, TrampCast Special. This was or is a follow-on to an anniversary of my first TrampCast 1 year ago, yesterday. We did a program yesterday and we're having to carry on because the sun got a little bit low in the sky. It was starting to get a little bit dark. As I've just shown you, I got less than halfway through both parts of my show or program. So me and Tina decided to come back today and finish the job. So here we are. So it is an unnumbered TrampCast. I think we're on 44 for the real TrampCasts, and we had a special yesterday and another one today. Okay guys, there are no numbers, so we're going to carry on with just facts about dogs. The theme of this TrampCast special is about Tina, about dogs. What am I drinking? I'm on Brow, which I think, from memory, is, oh, what's the shop called? It's a no brand. It's a shop's own brand from the supermarket. I think it begins with a C. I've lost it. Okay. Yeah. Supermarket in Spain beginning with C. Somebody give me a clue because I can't remember. That's bad. Tina girl, stop. Tina, if I have to come over there, there'll be trouble. Stop. Yeah, can't remember the name of the supermarket. It's an own brand from a supermarket anyway. Consume, well done. Is that Karen? I think that was Karen. There's only 2 people with oh, you see words aren't there today. Spanners, ratchets, vocabulary's gone. I don't know. Spanner, ratchet. You know what I mean. 2 mods anyway. There's only 2 of you out there. Okay, folks. Yeah, Consume. I think this is the own brand from Consume, but I think the Chinese guy at the top of the road here, I think he buys it there and then sells it at 50% extra, just because it's on your doorstep. He charges another 50% more if you want it cold, but I didn't pay for that. I haven't got that kind of money. I needed a bit of lubrication for the throat if I'm going to sit here and talk for a couple of hours. Okay. So yeah, there's no number section, it's just facts about dogs. I left off yesterday accidentally. I didn't even realise I'd stopped doing them. I just moved from one section to the other as if by magic. There's my mate Jack Attack, my other mod. There's a moderator, that's the word I was looking for, yeah, with the spanners stroke, ratchet stroke, any of those other words, yeah. Okay, the last fact I gave you yesterday before moving on was about petting dogs releasing oxytocin in the brain of both the dog and the person doing the stroking. That was the last fact. Then somehow I managed to magically move across and start answering the Tina related questions. Let's move back now then and finish the facts. Sorry, I just had another message pop up from someone about something. Okay, here's one. Guys will like this one. Neutered dogs, castrated dogs, live longer than the non-castrati. And it's the same for humans, guys. You want a cure for baldness? There is a 100% cast iron guaranteed correction for baldness. You're just not going to choose it. You would have to become one of the castrato. Have them chopped off. 100% guaranteed cure for baldness. And nobody selects it. There you go. Now you know. But yeah, you will also live longer. Probably, in human terms, about 10 years longer. 5 to 10 years longer. If you just lose the old testes. Of course, you'll have a higher pitched voice. But for some reason, oh yeah, you won't be able to have an erection or anything after. Not without some medication. The little blue tablets might help. But it's a cure for baldness that nobody ever mentions. No thanks. Yeah, you know, it's an option. That's all I'm saying. The option's out there. The selection is up to you. But actually, this is true of neutered or spayed. This works with dogs, male or female. They will both live longer after being taken care of, should we say. Yeah. Now, dogs have an increased sense of smell compared to you or I. Estimated, numbers vary, but I've got numbers here between 20,000 and 100,000 times better smell than yours or mine. Mine's probably pretty bad. I don't even smell myself anymore. I'm not exactly washing every day. So my sense of smell is probably, what do they call it? Nose blind, when you can't smell yourself anymore. Nose blind. So the dogs have got a much stronger sense of smell than you or I, to the point where it is suggested they can smell cancer. And they've smelled it on people's moles or birthmarks or in their breath. If it's like a lung cancer, and it's suggested that dogs can be trained to identify this, like specifically trained just to test for this, for these cancers. But I saw a program, it must be over 20 years ago now, of a lady her dog wouldn't stop nudging with her nose. Her dog kept nudging a mole on her, I think it was her calf. Shin, calf, somewhere around there. And the lady went to a doctor and said, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but my dog won't leave my leg alone." So he suggested a biopsy, and it turned out that yeah, she had a cancer, and that started them off on testing and training dogs. And nowadays, I think with modern electronics, they can make electronic noses that are even better than dogs when it comes to trying to sniff out some of these chemicals. They just don't know what all of the chemicals are that would be related. Here's another one. Strange sounding one. When I read it myself, I wasn't too sure. Allegedly, what was that about cats will just drop what? Oh, no. I almost ended up reporting you for something. I don't like the way the chat disappears. Why does it not just stay here? Cats will drop a piano on you. Okay, yeah. Anything for grey hair? No, it's only baldness for the castrato or castrati. I don't know if you know your Italian, your plurals. I think there are 2 different letters for singular and 2 different letters for plural. Is it? I think it's A and I for plural. Is that for plural? So spaghetto and scampo are the singular, and spaghetti and scampi are plural. So yeah, there's A, E, and there's O and I. I can never remember all the intricacies. But yeah, scampo, scampi. It's a long time ago that I read up on this malarkey. Oh, how are we doing? I haven't put the magic sponge on the... I'm assuming that we're not getting bombarded with wind. Nobody's complained about anything, but I'll put the cover on the... I'll put the cover on the microphone just in case. It is a bit more breezy today than it was yesterday. God, I watched back yesterday's video. I'm sorry guys, it was horrendous. I had my phone the other way up, portrait, and it was only showing me a postage stamp 2" by 2" thing at the top, and half the video I'm off camera. I wasn't on the camera, it was showing me, on the picture it was showing me, I was plumb center. I don't fucking, you can all look back, 3 months ago, I had this mastered. You had to go into an advanced setting. YouTube wanted all videos to be portrait. You had to go into an advanced setting and say, no, I want landscape. And you did that before the live stream. You start the live stream, it's all fine. There was no problem. But then about 2 months ago, they removed that setting from the advanced, and from then on, I have not been able to work this shit out. Like, I'm doing exactly the same now as I was doing about 3 weeks ago when everything was fine. I had a good live stream with the screen this way and no dark overlay. Now it's working and I've got a dark overlay telling me I've got the screen wrong way around. Yesterday, it kind of forced me to put the screen the other way and showed me this postage stamp video short. Sunday was an even bigger bloody disaster. It's the YouTube mobile app, as far as I can tell. Now it could be my phone. There are multiple reasons that... Tina girl. Tina! There are multiple reasons this could just be me and my phone. I've dropped it in water twice. Tina girl. Shush. Tina! Shush. I've dropped the phone in water twice. There's also me cocking up settings and not understanding this little logo when you're creating the stream. There's a setting there that I click it and set it to horizontal, but I don't know whether it takes or not. I don't know whether that affects the live stream that I'm editing that's for the future. You know, when I'm creating one for the future rather than doing it straight away. And then just before I go live, I'll often tweak that setting again and set it to landscape again just before coming in and going live. And this is my frustration. So just before I went live now, it said, oh, you're wrong. You need to go back and change, either move your phone or change the setting. I went back and I changed the setting. Then I've come in, I've gone live, and it looked good. And after about 5 seconds, then this black overlay appeared again. It's a nuisance. It's a nuisance. Anyway, okay. Okay, I was starting to tell you I didn't really believe this particular fact. Dogs prefer to poop in alignment with the Earth's magnetic field. I don't think I believe this one. My dog we walk down the same track, and she'll like my phone. She'll have a different fucking orientation every time. There's no... If it was what they said, if she had to be aligned like north-south or east-west or something, every time we walk down this road, she would be a specific way around. That's not what happens. That's not what she does. She'll face any which way. At the minute, she tends to move. No, Tina. Tina knows. Hey, just leave the nice person alone. Leave people alone. At the minute, she seems to like to climb onto a pile of a tuft of grass. The tufts of grass here can be 2, 3, even 4 feet high. Feet. Let me explain feet. 30, 60, 90 centimeters high. And she likes to just squat onto the tuft of grass. I think because it helps support her, because her back legs are failing. Again, another reason why I'm doing these programs, because I don't think I'm going to have her here for much longer. Or if I do, there's going to be significant deterioration. So I want to have something, more fun to look back on. I mean, at the minute, when she's doing a poo, she sometimes falls into it. Her back legs give way so much that her back end hits the ground. Not fun. And from the looks of things, the rate of deterioration, it's only going to get worse. Now, as my friend yesterday suggested, you shouldn't have a dog if you can't afford the vet. Wise words. And if I'd known 8 years ago that I was going to be living in a field without access to my bank account, I wouldn't have got her. I would have avoided getting her. But you don't have hindsight. You don't have 20/20 hindsight, do you? When you make a choice and get a dog. So he became the third person, only the third person I've ever banned from the channel. Only the third. I might go back and let him back in if he behaves, but or she, I'm not sure. But I wasn't happy. I got a bit angry. I got a bit angrier than I thought I would get, but I watched it back this morning. I kind of agreed with myself. I often do. I think I've told you, I quite like this guy. Okay, dogs pooing in alignment with the Earth's magnetic field. I'm not swallowing that one. There are apparently estimated 600 million dogs in the world. And 2/3 of them are wild stroke feral. 2/3 of all dogs are not domesticated properly. They're running loose. I guess I understand. I can see that. I was in Tunisia on honeymoon, and yeah, we had dogs and cats running around all over the place. So it kind of makes sense that especially in some of these bigger countries, your Indias and your Chinas, I guess. Oh, unless... Oh, I probably shouldn't even say it. I guess some of those places have their own way of keeping the wild populations under control. Allegedly. I don't know. I don't know. It's something I heard on the internet. I think when it comes to China and dogs, it's a specific breed that they keep for food use. It's not just any old dog off the street. That whole, I guess, myth, urban legend about Chinese and Koreans and similar, it's probably not true. When it comes to dogs, certainly it's one specific breed in China, and they skin them alive though before they put them out of their misery and cook them and eat them. I saw a video once of a dog that escaped from a kitchen, from a butcher's, after being skinned. That's quite distressing. But I think that the general myth, the general urban legend is just that. It is an urban legend. I hope. spiked collars on dogs. We've all seen this, yeah? Were typified on Tom and Jerry. Jerry the mouse and Tom the cat, and then there was Butch, wasn't there, with the big spiked collar. The spiked collar is a real thing and was to protect dogs' throats against attacks by wolves. So it's not just a like a jewelry thing or an appearance thing. It actually was originally a practical, real thing when wolves roamed these lands. So now you know. Okay, here's another one. The Titanic. Rich folk took dogs on the Titanic, and there were three dogs are known to have survived on the Titanic. I thought I'd written their names down, actually. I'm not sure. I thought I'd written them, and now it's not here. Unless I've... No, that was something else. I thought I'd written them down. But I think most of them were small. They were like Chihuahuas. They were the kind of dogs that you keep in your sleeve or in your handbag or purse. One lady, it's suggested, one of the ladies on the Titanic got the dog off by wrapping it in blankets and pretending it was a baby. Swaddling, wrapping it tightly and swaddling it to fool people into, the whole women and children first thing. I don't know. Okay. Fun fact. Greyhounds are faster than cheetahs once you get over the first 300 yards. Cheetahs are obviously the fastest land animal on Earth, the fastest land animal possibly ever. But only for the first 300 yards, 300 meters and yards. Let's not get into that discussion. They're within 10% to most human assessment. Meters and yards are the same. They're the same shit. Same thing, different name. But only for the first 300 meters or 300 yards. Beyond that, the fuck? Another one. Okay, relax. Relax. Only for the first 300 yards. After that, the greyhound takes over, and it's by far and away faster. Let me see, I've got a speed written down here. Where am I? He annoyed me and distracted me from my numbers. Okay, 35 miles per hour. That's got to be about 55 kilometers per hour. A greyhound. And they can do that for 7 miles. Which means they're going to run at top speed for about, I think about 12 minutes at that top speed. So not just, obviously the cheetah's going to be faster for the first, I don't know, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever that would be. But after that, it's the greyhound all the way. And even that's not the fastest animal, is it? I think it's the peregrine falcon. Obviously, that's not running on land. But I think it's the peregrine falcon in a dive while attacking other birds is even faster than a cheetah. But not on land. You'll have to look that up and confirm that for yourself. I'm dragging that up from the depths, but fairly sure it is the peregrine falcon versus all the other birds. But it has to be in a stoop, in a dive, coming down fast. Not really powered as such. Gravity assisted. Okay. Dalmatians. lovely things that they are, with their black and white dappled or spotted coats. But did you know 30% of Dalmatians are deaf in at least one ear? I didn't know that until yesterday when I wrote these down. But that's got to be a genetic. Okay, Karen, catch you later, pal. That's got to be a genetic thing, that they've been bred and crossbred and interbred so much that they're picking up genetic defects, like bulldogs and pugs, and what's the other one with a really crinkled skin that it gets all sorts of nastiness in the wrinkles and in the. I mean, that was another. I didn't actually dig this fact out, but scientists still to this day can't explain the variability with dogs. Considering that dogs were all bred from wolves, various estimates, 20,000 or 10,000 years ago, between the various ice ages that we had back in those interglacial periods. But how one animal can be bred, you know, for specific traits, and you end up with such variety. No other animal has ever given such variety, small, big, different types of fur. Some are hair, not fur. All of the, you know, wool. Some are wool. There's all this variability between the different breeds of dog, whereas scientifically, breeds don't exist. It's all one animal. It's all a wolf. They're all wolves that have been bred selectively for whatever traits we wanted. Whether we wanted them to go down rabbit holes and hunt out whatever animal was down there. Rabbit holes, rat holes, all the, you know, badgers, all the different things that we might have wanted them to go and fight and chase. Kind of fascinating that we got such variability. Okay, 30% of Dalmatians are deaf because of this selective or over inbreeding. Although larger spots, here again, look, the Dalmatians with the bigger spots are less likely to be deaf. The fuck? What? How does that happen? How does that happen? Who knows? Okay, the oldest dog on record. Place your bets. 31 years old. And only died a couple of years ago. 31. Most go somewhere between 10 and 15-year-old. But which again brings me back to Tina, doesn't it? Hey babe. Okay. A dog's nose print is as unique as a human's fingerprint. Can be used to uniquely identify that one specific animal. The first earthlings in space. It's not okay. It's kind of sort of not really true. I think some insects were sent up first, but the first complex animals sent into space, dogs. There was Laika, Belka, and Strelka. Now Laika died in space, but I think there was such an outcry about that the next two, Belka and Strelka, were brought back down alive. And the world is all the better for that fact. Finally, my fact about dogs. Anybody who's had a dog will know this, but it's another one of those ones where the researchers were slow to find out or to prove the point. Dogs dream just like we do. Now, it's only a few years ago that they put them inside an MRI and proved the point. But anyone who's got a dog, you've seen them. They lie there, they're asleep, and they're jerking, they're running, but they do is it called a myoclonic jerk? You know, when you're falling asleep and your legs do that, they do that thing. My dog is, when you're asleep, when you dream, your body is paralyzed, so that you can't do any damage to yourself. But yeah, the legs go, their back and their front, their paws, like you said, it's like they're cycling a bike or a pedalo or something. They're now, every dog owner ever has always known this. So why did scientists only announce this a couple of years ago? It's the most bizarre shit ever. That science is just so far behind what your average dog owner knows. We've always known this. So I knew before science that dogs dreamt, or dreamed, depending on your preferred pronunciation. I go with the PT, the MPT. I'm a dreamt. And the same with slept and swept. I go with the PT version of these past tenses. But I'm told that makes me anachronistic. I'm an old fogey when it comes to these words. What can you do? It is as it is. Oh, my girl will whimper and howl and what have you in her sleep. Cheers, Jack Attack. Or toot if you're of that persuasion. I guess it's, I missed any kind of 420 or whatever. But hey, let's crack on. If you can see my questions, so I've finished the facts, but my question yesterday I only got down to here. I've got this. If I'm not careful, we'll be coming back for a day 3 and a day 4. This could end up as like a never-ending special. Yeah, Scruff Dog likes his toot toot. Yeah. You don't think it's old-fashioned? You use the slept, swept. Yeah, kept. I hear people now with keeped, and I'm like, just no. You didn't keep something, you kept it. You swept it, you slept, I go with the ept almost every time. Okay, guys and gals. I just realised we'd got females in the house as well. Okay. Although Karen was here earlier, but yeah, okay. She hardly doesn't count in my head anymore. She's so familiar to me, I kind of forget. I forget. God, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm digging myself in deeper as I go. Okay, yesterday's final question that I touched on but didn't properly answer. See, because I got distracted. I went off on a tangent from a tangent when I watched the video back. So the final question that I asked myself was, what is Tina's favourite food / drink? And I started talking about how when I cook and I put the food down and Tina gets the remnants of the bowl, and how my bowl used to be the pan not the pan that I cooked in, but I would dish up into a separate pan because I'm in a field. So if I've got a bowl that I can hold a handle, you think of a small pan as an eating bowl. It's got a handle and then the spoon and you know, it's that man thing, isn't it? You think of a bloke cooking on the stove and then just taking it and just sitting and eating. Except I was doing a big pan and then ladling into the small pan and then sitting and eating. And So I started to tell that, and then I went off on tangents about the police and about how they stole all my cookery equipment and how I didn't have a ladle anymore and da, 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 da. But to take the question back, Tina's favourite food. Whatever I'm eating is Tina's favourite food. She'll She'll eat all her food, and then when I have mine, she'll have a good quarter or third of mine at times. And that will raise the ire of some folk. Onions and garlic. If I have a curry and people are saying, "Oh, she can't have hot stuff, you know, spicy," but she does, and she has no problem with it. Other times, if we got a favourite drink, she loves milk. I used to joke that she was my big putty cat. She's my big pussy cat. She loves milk. Now, I read somewhere that I think it's something like 2/3 of dogs are lactose intolerant. My one's not. So before anyone starts bitching and telling me not to give her milk or cheese or whatever else has got lactose in, I've got no idea. Yogurt, and she loves all of that. She loves everything: milk, yogurt, cheese. Here's another one. Chocolate. Now, poison. Someone's going to tell me that chocolate is poison, and you're not wrong. But the damage is in the dosage. If it's a little dog eating a big bar of Galaxy, danger, Will Robinson, danger. Big dog, mouthful of chocolate. Not a problem, not an issue. So she loves like chocolate puddings. By pudding, I'm using that in the American sense here, where you use pudding to mean like a mousse but without the air bubbles. It's a rich, creamy, chocolatey pudding. In England, we use the word pudding a lot more liberally. Anything for sweet, anything for dessert could be called pudding in England. And then we've got the savoury puddings like black pudding and Yorkshire pudding. And then we've got Christmas pudding, anything that's steamed inside I was going to say a sock, but inside a fabric, like Christmas puddings and various other puddings were back in the day. We have a history of puddings that's older than your country, so don't start telling me I'm using the word wrong. Our word pudding predates your 13 colonies. Our 13 colonies, if you're going to get that way. I'm kidding, don't start. So Tina's favourite food and drink. I would say milk, but anything yogurty would do. And for food, it's just whatever I've had. Whatever I've had is Tina's favourite that day. Stephanie's from Canada. Almost as bad. Even worse, some would say, because you got the French mixed in there. But shh, I'm only kidding. Actually, one of my favourite YouTube channels is a lady called Alana. What do you call the channel? Something and naps. Food and naps or drinks and naps. She's Canadian and she lives over in England now, and it's about like the culture shock, the differences, the similarities yet differences between England and Canada. I'll maybe post a link. I'll post that in the pinned comment or in the description after. One of my favorite channels. Even though I can't remember the name of it now that I'm on the spot. You ever do that? Put yourself on the spot and now you don't know what you're talking about. You can't remember. You knew it a minute ago. Adventures and Naps. Adventures and Naps. Definitely, that's the one. Alana. Fantastic channel. Okay, let me get on with this. I've covered one question so far. There's about 15 more to go. And the sun's already down behind the buildings. I got about half an hour before it's dark. Okay, we covered favourite food and drink, kind of. If I was to pick a favourite food for her, in absolute terms, meats. She's a dog. She anything mortadella or chorizo. Jesus. And again, I'm gonna have people telling me about the spices and things, but I don't make the rules. You know, if I'm making a sandwich in bed at night, lying there with my chopping board, which is like a tray across my lap, Tina's gonna come out of her corner, get on the bed, suddenly get all cuddly, because she's not an idiot. She knows how to get around me. Yeah, but whether it's mortadella or chorizo, she's right there for any meats. And she doesn't chew them. She just inhales them. They're just gone. Yeah. Tina girl, can we stop that? Thank you. Okay. Does Tina have a favourite toy? Not anymore. Bastards took it away. 4 months after I became homeless, 2 months or thereabouts after I moved in here, I was walking past the bins and somebody had thrown out what in England we would call a cuddly toy. In America, I believe you would call it a stuffed animal. You see, in England, a stuffed animal would be more taxidermy. That would be a little bit more, yeah, you know, a little bit. Tina girl. But a cuddly toy. Stuffed animal, if you prefer. And it was a dog. So a couple of days before Christmas, I got her this cuddly dog, and she loved it. She fought with it. I would wave it in her face and growl, and she would snarl at it and attack it, and it was all good fun between me and her with the cuddly toy with the dog. But unfortunately, that was outside of the tent when the police came and took everything. When they took my barbecue and gas bottle and pans and pots and plates and knives and forks. I said the police took it. It was the bin men. They brought the refuse collectors. Tina go. I used to quite like the bin men. I've always respected them and the work they do when they come along and they clear the land and they empty, you know, they pick up the bottles and things, the trash from along the road and on the cliff tops. But I've now got I'm now repulsed by them, just on sight. I see them and I just, because the police called them in and they just took everything that was outside my tent. They just stole, they just took. No paperwork, no receipts, no. They claimed it was a fire risk. I had a green plastic table. Oh, plastic out in the sun, fire risk. Water bottles with water in, fire risk. Water bottles that were empty, fire risk. My barbecue, fire risk, even though it's gas, and 1 metre off the ground, or 1 metre or more, fire risk. Everything, they just said fire risk and just took everything. No paperwork, they didn't tell me under what law they were taking it, there was no appeals process, there was no way of getting anything back. It just went on the back of the, and they laughed at me. Because I was in my tent and had closed up because I was being attacked by the police. I didn't actually see the the van. I didn't know it was a bin wagon, refuse collection. I thought it was just men and a van. So I was saying, no, tomorrow I'm going to go see a judge and appeal and get my stuff back. And they were laughing their bits off at me. And after that, like I said, all of my cookery stuff, all of my food prep stuff was outside, because that was where all of my food prep was done. That was where my barbecue, I wasn't using it as a barbecue, I was using it just as a gas ring, well, 2 gas rings. I was using it as a stove with gas bottles. And they just took it all and left me. They took my ladle, they took my measuring jug, they took all my pots and pans, they took all my plates. Now you guys, people came to my aid in the weeks after. People rallied round and brought me plastic plates and some knives and forks, and someone went across to the Chino Bazaar and bought me some proper plates and pans, and I got a big metal spoons, and I've got wooden spoons, I got spatula, I've got almost everything. I just noticed recently that I don't have a ladle, and I don't have I don't have any way of measuring out flour. I obviously haven't got weight scales or anything fancy, but I don't even have a measuring cup for, when it does the fluid ounces versus flour versus sugar versus whatever. I haven't got that. Tina, if you don't stop, I'm gonna get angry. Stop it, darling. Yeah. So no, Tina's favourite toy, this doggy that we loved. We both loved it. It wasn't just the toy, it was the way that we played with it between us. The way that I would growl and attack her with the dog, and then she would growl and bite the dog, and then she would run off with the dog and shake it, like grab it by the throat and shake it like she was trying to kill it. It was just funny to watch. It was just a fun thing that we did together. But that's gone. It's been gone a while now. I think we do have, there are other toys in there. I have picked up other things along the way. I've got balls. I've got a green ball, the ones with the spikes that you put treats in between the lines, and then the dog takes and tries to dig out the dog treats from inside the ball. We got some of those. We do have toys that she enjoys, but not as many as we had, and her favourite toy is gone. Tina, please stop. We're getting to that time of night where, as it's getting darker, now the flies are starting to come out and starting to be a nuisance. Yeah, that's just how it is with the flies. Oh no, another one that looks away when they get here. Hey, what can you do? I can't make everybody love me. As cuddly as I am. Cheers, Jack Attack. The police here sound very corrupt. Yeah. A friend of mine offered to get their lawyers to represent me. And then went and spoke to the lawyers, and the lawyers said no. They said, you'll need specialists and you'll have to go out of town. It was like, we're not messing with those bastards. We're not bringing a case against them and having them come knocking on our door at 5 in the morning. You'll have to go out of town if that's what you want to do. Sound corrupt to you? Even the local lawyers are frightened of the bastards. Oh, and the day after they took all this away, one of them drove right at me and tried to run me over on the road. And 2 days after, they were driving down here at 3 in the morning, peeping horns and blowing whistles outside my tent, trying to intimidate me and scare me. And again, later in the week, 2 or 3 days later. Yeah. Until I mentioned that I used to do internet security, and I could easily set up cameras nearby, and yeah, then it all stopped. Go figure. Okay. Does Tina like going to the park is the next question that I've got here. She used to love it. We used to live at, there's a park, Aguas Nuevas, New Waters, if you want to translate that into English. If you go from here, you go uphill, there are 3 fields, one below the other. The top one's got a bar in, guess which one I used to be in a lot. Then there's a middle field, which is more of a dog related, and then there's the bottom one, which dogs as well, but not as much as the middle one. And when we were first made homeless, I basically lived in that middle field. And then when we moved down here, after we were forced out of that park, and we came down here, we would go back there every day. Last summer, we went back to the park. Now at the minute, Tina could just about do that walk. It's a similar distance to going to the supermarket, going to Mercadona. At the minute, I'm trying to limit us to going to the supermarket once a week. I sometimes go twice. You know, you can't always control what you need and when you need it. But it's a struggle for her. And I found not long ago, when she's walking, her back feet, she's dragging her nails on the floor, her back paws. She's not just clipping on the floor like I thought she was. She's actually dragging like the tops of her paws on the floor. And I noticed one day that she'd got grazes, she'd got cuts on the tops of her toes where she's dragging them on the floor. So I'm trying to only go there once a week, and for that to be the only walk we do that day, you know, not to be out on a big walk. There are no big walks anymore, but not to be on a longer walk through the day. Try and limit it so that there's less damage to her. But she used to love the park. She used to absolutely love the park and chasing the birds, chasing other dogs, occasionally getting in a fight with other dogs because she's a dog. It's what they do. But we used to go every day through summer and sit under a tree. But I have the picnic. If you've been here a while, you'll know that I started off day 1 of being homeless. I had 2 picnic blankets, plastic bottoms with a blanket top. So I'd put those on the ground, normal way up, overlapping slightly, and then fold them over me so that the blanket part's on the inside and the plastic's on the outside. And they got holes in them from dog claws and from just pulls and tears, and just I've had them a lot of years. But those formed the basis of my bed for many, many months initially. Before I had a shelter, before I had a tent, before I had anything, I called it a bedroll. My bed system was these 2 blankets looped over, and then I got a mattress from a sunbed from like by the swimming pool, you know, just a padded mattress, just a thin thing, 3 or 4 inches thick, 10 centimeters. And then towels inside. Towels were like mini blankets inside this thing. And then we got into this kind of year where it starts raining more, and I needed to get an outer lining, and I got a clear plastic sheet that was intended to be a dust cover from, you know, when you're having decorations and when you're painting, and you put a sheet down to stop the speckles of paint from your roller. Yeah, so we built a bed. I built a bed system from that, and that's how we lived in the park. We were in the park for 2 months, and Tina, I would say she loved it. She liked the people. We obviously we were meeting similar people or the same people every day. or mainly, most days, certain dogs would turn up at certain times. This goes back to the fact I said about dogs having a sense of time. She would know when certain dogs were due to arrive in the park, and you could tell she was excited that her friends were going to be dropped off by their mums or dads, and Tina could go and have a run around with with certain fixed characters that would appear, if not every day, then most days. She used to love the park. Now it's on the limit of how far we can walk. When I walked to Tweety's a month ago, roughly speaking, the fish and chip shop, we walked up the hill past the park, and then we walked a similar distance down the other side. And I was really, really stretching her abilities that day. She was really, by the time we got there, she couldn't walk up the stairs. Her back legs were collapsing. I didn't think we should have gone in the lift, the elevator. But I went up the stairs, and her back legs collapsed about 3 times. And basically I was, if I say dragging her up by the neck, with the lead and the collar, I'm overstating it a bit, but I was making sure she didn't fall backwards down. I wasn't really dragging her up, but I was stopping her from falling backwards down. Yeah, I saw Jack Attack just said something. I'll come back to that, mate. Would she swim? No, she hates water. Never ever been able to get her near water. Christ. Me and Ismo, this is going back 8 years ago, 7.5, however long ago it was I got her. Went out one day and we got rained on really badly, and there was that dog smell. Yeah, and we I would go dove. We dove into a bar, dived into a bar. We ducked into a bar. Whatever bloody word you want to use. We tried to get out of the we were already wet through. Me and Christian, the bloke I used to share the apartment with. We dived, ducked into a bar. And people were kind of complaining that the 2 dogs, that you'd got that wet dog smell. What can you do? We had 2 wet dogs. But I tried to wash her a couple of days later. And it took both me, if you've seen Ismo's the guy who broke 2 chairs here. He's about 50% my weight, 50% again. So I used to be 100 kilograms. Then I dropped to 67. I've got no idea where I am at the minute. I would guess I was back roughly normal, but I don't know. Tina! Oi! Fucking stop! You'll have no ear left if you carry on like that. Sorry guys, I hope no one's wearing headphones. I didn't mean to deafen you. But my mate Ismo's a big lad, is what I'm trying to say. And it took 2 of us to get Tina this day when I'd not had her long. I'd had her 2 or 3 months, I don't know. You could tell it was early. I got her in the December and it was still rainy season, so it can't have been later than March or maybe April at a push. Yeah, I decided to try and wash her to alleviate this wet dog smell if it happened again. And there's both me and Ismo, and we're both struggling like hell to get her under the we had a hose pipe, we had buckets, we're outside on the paved yard, a paved garden, paved yard, and we both end up on our backs, like trying to carry Tina and hold Tina and restrict Tina and bring her back after she's got away. We're both on our backsides and literally on our backs. She just really, really hates water. It's okay, babe. Well, it was okay until you start demolishing the tent. I'm not even going to tell you. But yeah, no, hates water, will not. When Joby, the English bloke, it's his nickname, it's not his real name, but when Joby was in the field here and we were trying to do fishing and stuff, and then I tried to go for a swim down. It's very rocky. It's all rock pools. It's not a proper beach. It's a bit nasty, really. Just this cove just here. It's not great. But I tried to go for a swim, and I couldn't get the dog to go within. I couldn't get the dog within 30 meters of the water. She just would not have any of it. There's no going near water. No, steady, steady. Oi, oi, steady, steady. It's okay. Tina's okay. Tina's okay. Nice people walking past. It's just children. It's children. Tina, go. It's okay. Oi, quiet, quiet. Quiet, quiet. Nice man and his little boy. I think little boy. You can't always tell with the haircuts when they're a bit base and head cut. Tina! Tina! Enough. Definitely a man, I could tell that much. Okay, Park. Then you asked, did she like water? No, she won't go near water. Okay, here's one. I don't remember who asked me this, but I thought it was a good question. Would Tina be friends with Daddy if he was a dog? Would she like me if I was a dog? In some ways, I think she thinks I am just a funny shaped dog. But in other ways, I think probably not. No, if I was actually a dog-sized dog, if I wasn't twice as big as her and a bit temper tantrumy, I think she'd probably let me know what was what. I think she'd let me know, when she was unhappy about stuff. I said yesterday, listen, it's not a bed of roses. I am a tramp. I live in a field. Life is difficult. She damages the tent. She does things that are in danger. Every day she's constantly doing things that are in danger of damaging the tent. And I'm wanting to keep the tent intact for winter. So I do get angry with her. It's not a, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything here. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. We argue. And sometimes the argument gets physical. And she'll snap at me. She'll let me know, like, when enough's enough. And I'll fucking slap her on the head and say, don't fucking do that. Don't you try and bite me, you little bugger. It's not a bed of roses. It's not. Now, I love her a bit, and I'm not going to hurt her, and I don't think she'd hurt me for real. But she will give her a nip and a... I was going to say a nip and a tuck, but that's something different. Yeah, no, we argue. We have our arguments. We have our disagreements. So would she like me if I was a dog? I suspect not. Maybe on balance, maybe on the whole she would, but there'd be moments. I've got a fly buzzing right in my face. There'd be moments. There would be issues. There would be little tussles and yeah. Well, there are. I'm not hiding that. I don't hide that. We have our fallings out. I think that would be the correct grammar. We have our fallings out. Let me know. We got any English graduates, English language rather than literature. The English lit lot are a different bunch, but the English grammar bunch. Let me know. Fallings out rather than falling outs. I would go with fallings out. Okay, does Tina have dreams? We covered this earlier tangentially with in the facts about dogs dreaming. She does. She falls asleep 3 or 4 times a day, and it's like she's running through the grass. She runs free in her dreams. Even though at the minute with her legs deteriorating, she doesn't necessarily get to run in the real world. I don't know. It's nice to watch her at least run in her dreams. I'd like to watch her run again in real life, but Her back legs collapse when she's anywhere near any of that. Does Tina listen to you? Is a question I have written here. Does she bollocks? Except yes, she does. She does, but not in a good way. So I give her a command. Is that even the right? I don't even think that's the right phraseology. I do sometimes. I tell her what to do, like to sit down or to behave or to, do whatever. And I think I mentioned yesterday. She has memory. Even when she ignores the command I've just given her. If I leave it 30 seconds and then say, now, and get angry, she knows what the last command was, and then she'll do it if I'm angry enough. Tina girl. Tina, stop. Let's show the people. Oh, sorry folks. Because I was about to turn the camera around, I put my hand in front of the... Here she is. There's my girl. Hey bird. Hey! Not in public! Chasing the flies. I told you it was that time of day and that the flies are about to be out. And they're not just out, it's this time of year and this time of day at this time of year, they get a little bit nippy, a little bit bitey. And I think at the minute the tent is wide open both sides. Or maybe not, I might have closed the other side. So when we go in, I'll have to have a spray around to capture, to kill any that are already in. I don't want to sit there all night with, God. 2 years ago when I arrived in this field, shortly, I would wake up in the night and I was like Worf of Star Trek, Next Generation. I was like the Klingons. I had ridges and bumps and lumps and fucking... Was I Worf or was I B'Elanna Torres? I don't know. I had these... You would get whole ridges where they bite and bite and bite next to a bite, and you get a welt. Not just a lump, but you get a whole fucking welt. And some nights my forehead would come up like, like that. And what was weird was 24 hours later, if you got another bite somewhere else on your forehead, the previous bites would come back up. You didn't get another bite there, but somehow your body remembered that welt, that lump. And by the end of the week, you just got a whole fucking lot of them. Anyway, we're meant to be talking about Tina, not me. But you saw her there chasing the flies. Does Tina listen to me? No, not really. And when she does, hey, steady. Tina, steady. Hey, steady. Leave the ladies alone. Leave the ladies alone. Hey. Pretty ladies. Far too young for me. Anything under 40 is far too young for me. And what are the odds I'm going to find a hobosexual? Boom. Hobosexual. Yeah. Okay. You're allowed to laugh, chat. You can laugh at that one. So, yeah, just Tina, listen to me, no. What kind of things frighten Tina, I was asked by somebody. I've covered this already, I think. Wind, things moving, things flapping about, banners, when you're walking past a shop and they've got a fabric or a plastic banner. Or, if you live in a fucking tent made of fabric and the whole thing just moves in the wind. So when we have a really windy day, really windy night, or it tends to coincide with thunder and lightning as well. Are you about to do what it looks like you're about to do? Or is it just your back legs giving way? Oh, I think she's just sitting, but it looked like she was shitting. Tina? I don't know. She looks really awkward. I did walk her just before we started TrampCast. So I don't think she needs any, but look, her back, maybe. Oh, I've done it again, putting my hand over the phone, guys. I wanted to show you, look at the back legs, look at the poise, look at the, she's squatting like she's about to poo. But I don't think she is. I hope not. We don't do that in camp. We don't do that in camp, do we? Not normally. Not normally. I don't allow that. No. Oh, it's him again. Look away when you get alongside. Okay. You see how friendly I try to be with everybody. I try to acknowledge everybody. Say hello, acknowledge them, give them a nod, a wave. When you nod at somebody, you're saying instinctively, I'm a friend, I'm not a threat. Hey, everything's okay, it's all good. The salute originally came from knights in armour, one going past the other, and he'd lift the visor as if to say, hail fellow, well met, you know, kind of, hey, not a threat. That's where the salute kind of comes from. And it's a similar, the hello wave is the same thing. You're just acknowledging people and saying, I'm here, you're there, I see you, no threat, it's okay, no problem. And someone who draws alongside looks right at you and then looks away just as you wave. Sends all the wrong signals. Now I get that some people who live down here don't want me here. I get that. But why be a cunt about it? Anyway, okay, let's get back to my list of questions, because at this rate we're going to be carrying on tomorrow. 8:15. We're an hour and 17 in and it is starting to get dark, isn't it? Does Tina listen to you? What kind of things frighten Tina? Thunder and lightning. Thunder and lightning is the other one. Wind freaks her out. She doesn't understand wind, but loud bangs, loud noises. But thunder and lightning, good God, yeah. Those freak her out to hell. Those frighten her to her core. If she's in her corner and it's doing the thunder and lightning, she'll try and back into the corner and back into it to the point where she's pulling the fabric. She's like about to break the tent. This is what I said about how she does things that I object to and get angry about. I'm trying to keep the tent in one piece. I don't want holes in the walls like we had previously with the previous tent. I don't want holes in the walls. I don't want holes punching through the door. A bit late for that. I want it to be watertight if and as and when we do get thunderstorms. And we will. This is Spain. You will go 6 months without any rain. But when it does rain, you fucking know about it. Which is why I have a play stream, what do you call it? Not a play stream, a playlist. I have a playlist called The Rain in Spain Falls Mainly on Me. Because when it rains, it fucking rains. And I'm in a field that floods, or that used to flood. It flooded twice in my first month here, my first 30 days. It flooded on the first fucking day here. And then it flooded again exactly 30 days later. Now, since then, they did some drainage work at the top, which has mitigated things since then. But if they don't dig out that channel, if they don't maintain it and keep it working properly, it will flood here again. It will. Cinema. So, yeah, I'm in Spain. It rains heavily sometimes, and when it does, I'm at the bottom of 2 hills, and all that water comes flowing down both hills and potentially into this field. Now, they dug this drainage channel that takes most of it away. But as I said, if they don't maintain that drainage channel, it will overspill its boundaries. And whereas in the past I built a bed to get me off the ground because the field floods, I started to realise it didn't flood anymore. Now my bed's just mattresses on the floor. You know? So if it floods, I'm gonna struggle. I have to be careful. I have to watch out for these things. But yeah, thunder and lightning and all things frightening. With thunder and lightning, you know, baby, it's frightening. I'm gonna knock, knock on wood. Was that the Weather Girls? No, that was Raining Men. Was it? That's a different song, yeah? Can't remember. Can't I move to any other piece of land? Potentially, although I don't know any. And I would immediately come up against neighbours and police. Things are kind of, sort of settled here. And I kind of know now that whilst it's private land, no one can locate the owner and get me trespassed. If I move anywhere else, I start the whole, is it public land, the police telling me to move on? How do I find out whether it's public or private? That whole dance, that whole shenanigans. Everywhere I go, the police would just lie to me and tell me it was public land and that they had the right to trespass me. At the minute, I can refute that and say I don't believe you and argue otherwise. Hola, buenos días. Tina girl, cálmate, amiga mía. Tina, tranquilo. Tranquilo. Basta. Suficiente. Suficiente. Siéntate. Siéntate. Tina, sit. Hold on, I just missed that because of the peoples. Are the trees in the same land? Are the trees the same land? Yeah, I think so. There's nothing to distinguish them in any other way. Tina, can we have some quiet, darling? Tina. Everybody, say hello to Suzanne. Susan. See, you got me there because of the pronunciation. Yeah, you see. Because you Spanishize it. Spanglish. Susan's a lady who's bought me 2 lots of shopping. Oh, I'm piercing you with an empty can. But everybody, please say hello to Susan. Even though I just mangled her name. Sorry. What a dick. Okay, folks, let's get these. I'm still only 2/3 of the way through these. Do you think we're gonna have to do another day? Oh shit! This is the can I dropped. Oh yeah. Even though it was an hour ago. An hour and a half ago. Cheers to the subscribers. Oh. See, nice and simple. Couple walk past, I wave at him, he waves at me, we acknowledge each other, everybody knows that nobody's a threat, that there's no problem, it's all nice. Just like that. The ones who drive past and then look left just to be dicks, just so they're not looking this way. I don't understand them. I don't understand that kind of reaction. Don't look at him! Don't look at him! Whatever you do, don't look at him! Okay. What is wrong with Tina is the next question. Now I don't know. I don't know the specific. I haven't got a diagnosis because I'm not a vet. And as I said yesterday, I can't afford to go to a vet. And this is where, what was he called? The guy yesterday that I banned. Broadcast Bar. Broadcast bar. I might unban him. I might make it just a temporary ban if he can come back and be civil. But that whole, if you can't afford a vet, don't get a dog. It's like, how did I know 8 years ago that I wasn't going to be able to afford a fucking vet now? You know, in theory I can. I've got thousands of pounds in the bank. Thousands. It's just the bank won't let me have them. So what is wrong with her? I mean, we can describe the problem. The problem is that the back ends, the back two legs, both are giving way randomly. She's walking along, and suddenly one leg gives, and her back end swings that way and knocks over whatever's at that side of the tent, or the left leg and her back end knocks over the fan. Whatever way it goes. And like I said earlier, she'll crouch to poo, and sometimes both legs just give, and suddenly her backside's on the deck, on the ground, and it, can get a bit messy down there. Not so bad when she's peeing. It's a different stance. I don't know. It just doesn't. She might collapse while getting ready to pee, but not while actually peeing. It's I don't know. Now, where you can look up whatever kind of degenerative disease you think might be involved in this. I gave notes yesterday as well that your dog has a tickle spot. All dogs have one. You just have difficulty finding it. There's one little area on their belly, usually somewhere around their navel, to one side or other of their belly button kind of area, and you tickle it, and one or other of the back legs will go, and they'll get all ticklish and excited. She used to be like that. Now it's everywhere. I can tickle her on the chin and the back leg goes. I can tickle her on her bum, on the back, on the top, and the leg will go. Those signals are getting cross-contaminated, cross-fed. The wiring, I think the wiring's lost its insulation, if you take the analogy. The nearest example I could give in human terms would be either multiple sclerosis or motor neuron disease. The signals get confused and are getting, and I think it's serious. I think it's deteriorating rapidly, and some of the different diagnoses that you might come up with, some of the different things it might be, are not good, and they don't all last long. They can be quite rapid. Now, my friend yesterday, broadcast bar, only the third person I've ever barred from the channel. He suggested that if you can't afford a vet, you shouldn't have a dog, and I don't disagree. Like if I was getting a dog now while home, I wouldn't get a dog now while homeless. But I've had her 7.5 years. Nearly in December it'll be 8 years. You don't get to pick and choose what your circumstances are going to be in 8 years' time, do you? It's not that easy. It's not that straightforward. Which was why I got angry with him and him or her, and then they threw back in my face saying it was booze, and that's another one of my trigger points. That gets me angry every time somebody blames. If you blame my lifestyle here now and say that that's because I drink, yeah. What about the first 6 months when I couldn't afford any drink? I went 6 months without a cup of coffee. I didn't have a cup of coffee till my friend Tina and Anita, the two ladies that bought me the phone, that come to go and buy me the phone. And I used to meet them on some chairs on cliff tops 500 meters that way. And Tina used to bring me a cup of coffee once or twice a week in the morning. I don't know if you're out there, Tina. Catch you soon, though. It's this time of year that you'll be coming out soon, isn't it? Back end of this month, maybe. Yeah. So I don't know what's wrong with Tina. Why haven't I gone to the vet is the next question I've written down here, and that follows on from what I've said already, doesn't it? It's not practical. A visit to the vet with something serious like this is going to be a, what, 80, 100, maybe 150 euros. If they then start doing, like, I don't know, x-rays or MRIs or some crap, where does that end? I've got 20 euros in cash in my back pocket, and I've got a card with 20 something euros that I can tap away and spend. Vet's bills. That's a whole other league. That's a whole other league. And God, I don't know if I can even say this. I didn't get on with my vet at the best of times, and neither did Tina. Tina didn't like her. Tina snapped her. I had to put a muzzle on Tina the last time we went. The vet got frightened of Tina. Because Tina remembered that she'd had injections from she remembered the pain. She remembered being hurt by the vet. So she took one look at her and ow, ow. Just in her direction, nowhere actually near her, but enough to spook the lady and yeah, I don't know. Okay, I've only got three more. I've only got three more questions from the original set, so we'll see if we can get through these. Does Tina love you? I guess this is similar to the would Tina like you if you were a dog kind of question. I think she does, but maybe just in her own way. Ask Ismo. Once upon a time, like I told you, Ismo was a big bloke, maybe 150, 160 kilos. And I gave him Tina. He was holding the lead. And I was going to go, I think I was going to go to Christian's and get Akira, get the other dog, and get Christian's dog. So Ismo was going to go to the park with Tina, and I was going the other way. She pulled him around, like around the corner. She pulled him from one road to another to try and chase after me, to try and follow me. Is that love, or is that just separation anxiety? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I like to interpret the separation anxiety as love, but that might just be my ego. That might just be me and my ego. Tina, go. Quiet, quiet. Quiet, quiet. It's just people walking past. It's okay. Tina's okay. Daddy's okay. We're all okay. It's okay. Tina's okay. I'll wave at them when they get to the other side of this bush. It's okay. No. 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 When they make a point of not looking, I don't know. They're young uns. Maybe they're just a bit more insecure. Does Tina love other people? Now this is a more broader question. This is a broader question. She does. There are other people in Tina's life that she likes a lot and that I would say she loves, yes. I'll go back to what I said earlier about Daddy Christian, the guy I used to live with, where I was like a second daddy to his dog, and he was a second daddy to Tina. A step above just the uncle, like the Uncle Ismo or Auntie Karen, because we lived there for 3 years. And I even said, I even said if anything happened to me, I would want Christian and Akira to look after Tina. But that was in the before times. That was in the before times. I probably still would. He would look after Tina. He would. I just don't like the way that he was with me when I came upon my troubles. But he would look. I'm fairly sure he would look, and she would love. She loves him a bit. She absolutely does. Just walking in that area, just walking past the complex, walking past the urbanization where he lives, gets a reaction from her. She gets excited and thinks that that's where we're going. Even now, all these years later. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. But there's other people as well. She loves her Uncle Ismo. She loves Karen and Karen's family. If you remember when I got arrested here and the policeman kicked Tina and then left her. They didn't take her away. They just left her loose in the field. Karen and family came back later that night while I was in the cells. Karen and family came back and found Tina loose and took her away. And they have an autistic daughter, but even she took to Tina, and Tina was there overnight and just wanted someone. Tina just didn't want to be alone. So between Karen and the rest of the family, they looked after her. It was only overnight. It was until the next day, until dinner time or thereafter when I got set free. I laugh and joke about this getting arrested business, folks. Let me just explain. I'm not proud about getting arrested. It's not big, it's not clever. But for obvious reasons, when you're homeless, you're going to have more interactions with the police. And those interactions aren't necessarily going to go in a straightforward manner. So you're at an increased risk of getting dragged off, even if it's something and nothing, and it's just 24 hours in the cells and then you get released or whatever. But yeah, my friend Karen and her family looked after Tina. Here's the funny one. So Tina's known Karen now. Tomorrow or the day after will be 1 year since I first met Karen properly, like in the flesh, since she came and cut my hair in the park. So yesterday was 1 year ago that we met online, and she said, "Hello, I can come and cut your hair." And any day now will be 1 year since she actually came and cut my hair. So me and Tina met her then, and her mum. But Tina, Karen looked after her this night. They took her away, and Tina will run right past Karen to her husband. She'll ignore Karen. She will bark. She will bark at Karen's mum, Christine. I think mainly because she's usually got sunglasses on. She will bark like a little bit hostile towards Christine. She will run right past Karen to get to Karen's husband. I think she just prefers the man of the family. She prefers men. It's just, I don't know, it's just how she is. What can you do? What can you do? So yeah, to answer the question in brief, there are other people that Tina loves. She does love. She Karen and Christine as well. She does love really. She's just a little weird at showing it. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But yeah. Okay, the final question I had of my original bunch. Has Tina had a good life? Whilst I'm trying to start to contemplate whether this degenerative thing that's going on with her legs, whilst I'm trying to comprehend this and come to terms with this myself, in case she's not got long left, I do have to start asking myself the question, has Tina had a good life? And I don't know. With hindsight, was I the best person to take Tina on board those years ago? I certainly thought I was at the time. Everyone who was present that day in the park thought so. And for the first 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, maybe not 5. Oh yeah, maybe 5. Everyone thought so. But obviously once I became penniless, once my bank said I couldn't have my money, and once I then got evicted from my apartment, once I became homeless, I obviously questioned myself as to whether is this the best life she could have had? I mean, obviously not. She could have had a home, a building, Am I a bad doggy daddy? I'd like to think not. Like I just said before, we have our arguments, we have our rows. She gets physical, I get physical. It's not ideal sometimes. But she's my doggy darling and I love her to bits. And I want the best for her. So where we go from there, I don't know. Is this the best life she could have had? Probably not. Is it the best life I could have had? Fuck no. Thank you, Santander. Tina, no. No. Now, there were a couple of bonus questions here, I think, that were asked yesterday by people. Okay, somebody asked, does Tina respond only to Spanish? No, Tina's multilingual. She's learnt commands in at least 3 languages, maybe more. Tina, stop it, darling. English, obviously, because that's my main language. And that's the language I'm going to shout at her most. And but even I try and give the odd command in Spanish because, Tina girl, cámate, amiga mía. Tranquilo. Stop it. It's just someone coming past. It's not a problem. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Tina's okay. You got away. It's okay. Nice people. Calm down. So as I was saying, English and Spanish for obvious reasons, mainly because she's Spanish and sometimes I want, if I'm telling her to calm down or to sit down or to lay down, I want the people around me to understand that I'm telling her off or what I'm telling her. So I'll give the commands in those languages. But also we lived with a Swedish bloke for 3 years, so there's the odd word in Swedish that we'll give. Not many. I didn't pick up much, but some. The main one that I remember with now is lig. Lig is to lay down. And she does. If she's told that, she will. She remembers it. But the more languages, if she's only going to remember 250 commands, the more languages you cover, if you're going to say the same command in 3 different languages, then you're going to reduce the total number of commands, aren't you? That's just obvious. Now, can I read this final one? No. I don't have any other. Oh, I've got. Give me a second. Apart from telling Tina to shut the hell up, I do have a light. Oh! Stop it. Stop. It's okay, babe. Oi, look at that. That's a proper light. Do you see any wildlife? Foxes, deers? Okay, let me... Oi, does that help? It helps me, if not you. Do I see any wildlife? Mate, I think this was Tim Timony yesterday, wasn't it? I've got to assume, I don't know if you're here today, Tim Timony, I've got to assume that that's a Chitty Chitty Bang Bang reference, yeah? Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. I think you've gone, my assumption is that you've taken that and run with it. But the wildlife, foxes and deers. Not so much foxes or deers, rabbits or hares. I did walking Tina in the middle of the night one. I've said a few times that we see them on the cliff top. But there was one day I was walking about, I don't know whether it was a 2 o'clock or a 4 o'clock dog walk. In 4 in the morning or 2 in the morning. And Tina started barking at something, and then something leapt over the grass and over and over. You know, it leapt hare-like or rabbit-like. I guess hare, I don't know. Do hares leap more than rabbits? I think so. Yeah. Other than that, cats and dogs, not so much wildlife. Other than that, it was my other rodentia pals, wasn't it? In the run-up to me getting the new tent in, when was that? March or April? Prior to that, I was plagued by rats and mice. And not just outside the tent. Bastards would have got inside the tent. Because the tent wasn't an enclosed thing. It was a down to the ground, the wall ended, and then the separate ground sheet. And so anything could come under and in, and did. So yeah, I had a lot of trouble with rodentia, mice and their bigger cousins. I don't like to say their name and tempt fate, especially now I've got a door that doesn't close properly with a wire coming in from the solar panel to the EcoFlow, my solar generator type thing. But it means there's a wire there that something could crawl up and over. The tent, this tent is like a self-contained envelope. It's a total. It comes up from underneath, it comes up the sides, and then the doorway's just a hatch in the side. But because it's got this cable coming in, I don't want to tempt fate and end up with them coming inside. Wildlife, I think that's my main. The rabbits and the other rodents. Rabbits are rodents as well, aren't they? With the teeth. I think what classes something as a rodent is having the 2 big teeth and having to chew on wood to gnaw the teeth down. I think that's one of the definitions of a rodent, rodentia. So there's no big wildlife. It's not foxes, deers, badgers. It's nothing like that. It is just the smaller stuff. But cats and dogs are roaming around here. Oh, and then we have the gays, don't we? We have the guy who walked through the centre of camp and wanted me to bum him. And then we had the guy shaking the tent a couple of weeks ago. That's wildlife. I don't know. I should shut up before I go get myself into trouble. So I just want to give a shout out now. I'm about to finish, guys. I just want to give a shout out to the people who made their presence felt yesterday. Obviously we had Broadcast Bar, the guy who I banned. We had Jack Attack. Shout out to Jack Attack, who was here again today. We had Kayla or Keela. I'm not quite sure on your pronunciation. We had, as we just discussed, Tim Timony. Tim Timony, Tim Timony, Tim Tim Taroo. Have I got a story for you? Chitty chitty bang bang, I'm sure. Then we had my mate Mick or Mike or Michael. He wouldn't settle on a preferred name, MJMM, yesterday. And of course we had Lee Johnson, my first ever super chatter, who also sent, I think it was a super sticker yesterday. Stitch dropped by. The Department of... Oh, I can't remember it, mate. I can't remember it. But Stitch came by. And then we had Mark, who I didn't notice until I watched the program back today. I noticed that I'd missed Mark as he'd sent a chat yesterday. So, hello to all you guys. I saw Karen today. I'm not sure who else. Did I see anybody else? Did I miss any? I'm sure I've missed plenty. Stephanie C as well. Stephanie C. Oh, Susan. See, I was about to say Suzanne again. Susan, stop it. Tina, stop. German Shepherd's legs. No, I don't think it's something worse. It's to do with the. I think it's to do with the electrics because of the way this tickle spot has moved. Because of the way you can tickle her anywhere, and then her back legs will collapse under the. I think what's it called? The mylar? No, it's not the right word. Mylar is a plastic bag type thing, isn't it? The sheath that deteriorates under multiple sclerosis. I'm going to say mylar. The mylar sheath. That's not right. That's mylon. I'm out of my depth, guys. I'm not a vet. Oh, Mary! You think it's Mary Poppins rather than Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? That's possible. That's possible. I do get some things wrong sometimes. The last time was 1973. I'm fairly sure of it, but yeah, okay, it's possible. Who else am I saying goodbye to? Let's. There'll be more of you in here, I'm sure, that I've missed. I'm just scrolling back. I will have missed these. I will play it back later, guys, and I'll play it back later and see if I haven't missed anybody. But we got there in the end. I thought I wasn't gonna. Oh, my light is flaring. Look at this. It's mainly Jack Attack and Karen early on. Look, Cheds. Yeah, okay. I missed Cheds. There we go. Cheds 1 to be precise. Let me keep scrolling. I think that's as far as it'll let me scroll back. I'm hoping that's everybody. Okay, folks. I don't know whether I can do. I'm going to see whether I can. Well, this might not work. But I'm going to try and maintain the traditions. Okay. I'll take the pan scrub, the sponge off the camera, and we'll try and do from Tina and from me, Delta Mike, out. Awkward moment. Fingers in front of cameras. Okay, folks.